Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Cody, and welcome our guest, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette sports writer and Steeler insider Ray Fittipaldo. Ray, the Steelers schedule's out. The sports world has stopped. You look at the schedule, it's been scrutinized and turned upside down. So is it the stuff that dreams are made of, this great schedule, or is it a nightmare on Elm Street?
Listen, I think, once last season ended and the Steelers knew what opponents they were going to play, I think everyone realized it was going to be a very difficult schedule. But if you look at the way, they broke it down, the way the league scheduled these games for the Steelers, I don't want to say it's easy in the first half of the season, but it's manageable for the Steelers. Now, the second half of the season, all 6 division games in the last 8, and just a brutal stretch to end the season. You got the Chiefs on Christmas Day, and then you got a bunch of division games preceding that game and also following that game. So they're going to have to be really good at the beginning to be in it late in the season, but they better be strong at the end if they want to make the playoffs too. It's a tough schedule for sure.
I kind of like that, the 6 division games in the last 8 weeks of the season. You're just focused on who's going to win this thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, Baltimore has the toughest NFL schedule, Cleveland second, and the Steelers third.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it breaks down based on, where you finish in your division. So the Ravens were first. I know Cincinnati was second, the Steelers were third, but it just so happens what their cross-conference games are as well. So, you could very well look at the AFC North this year, and given the difficulties of the schedules of all the teams, you could see a bunch of 10-7, 11-6 teams just because they're playing so many other good opponents. So you might not have like a 13-4, 14-3 type of team that's going to be a 1 seed, but you very well could see 1 or 2 really good teams who are maybe 11-6, 10-7, and they could be a very dangerous team in the playoffs because they will be hardened during the regular season.
When I hear from people how tough this schedule is, I remind some of them, last season, the Steelers are the only team in NFL history to lose back-to-back games to 2-10 teams.
And still make the playoffs too. How about that? I
Yeah.
mean, who would have thought back in December when they lost to the Cardinals and then the Patriots that they would rebound to make the playoffs? But I think this year more than ever, they're probably going to have to avoid those types of letdowns, right? Beat the teams on your schedule you're supposed to beat, and then just try to survive. And that final 4 games of the season where the Chiefs and the Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens are in there. You got to hope you're in position to absorb maybe a 2-2 or 1-3 record in that stretch, just because it is just a gauntlet there at the end of the season. So it'll be fun to see how it plays out. But now more than ever, if you look at it, that September schedule, get off to a good start, give yourself a chance, and then see where the chips fall in December and January.
When you say get off to a good start, I don't think the first 3 games are all that easy. At Atlanta, at Denver, and then home with the rejuvenated Chargers.
Yeah. I think Atlanta is in a similar situation to the Steelers, rebuilding with a veteran quarterback. There's some skill there on offense, but I think they're a very beatable team. And then you look at Denver, you got a big name head coach in Sean Payton, but they're also, breaking in a new quarterback, and, they've got some issues on offense and defense as well. So, I kind of like the Steelers to go 2-1 in that stretch. I know 2 are on the road, but if they can go 2-1 in that stretch, and then you have another manageable stretch there late September and October before you hit the really difficult part of your schedule. If you can go 6-3, 7-2 in those games, I think you'll be in position to maybe make a run at the playoffs, even though that back end of the schedule is so tough.
That daunting part of the schedule, the 3 games in 11 days, at Philadelphia on December 15th, at Baltimore on a Saturday, December 21st, and then Christmas at home, 1 o'clock game with Kansas City, Travis Kelce, and of course Taylor Swift. It's Broadway on the road for the NFL. Now that's, you got 2 physical games before you even play the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the one complaint that I'm kind of sympathetic to, and you won't hear the Steelers complain about this for public consumption, but the fans have kind of caught wind of this. The Steelers and the Ravens both play on Christmas Day. The Steelers got the Chiefs, the Ravens got the Texans. I don't know why the NFL couldn't have put the Steelers and Ravens on a Thursday night as opposed to a Saturday and give those two teams a little bit of extra rest there instead of them playing on 3 or 4 days rest. So that's one complaint that I hear. But it happens every year, Ed. There's tough parts of the schedule where you got to play Thursday, Sunday. I get it, but when you're that late in the season and your players are as banged up as they are, I think the league probably could have handled that aspect of the schedule a little bit better.
Ray, when you talk about this and people bring up, well, the players union can't be happy with the way the schedule comes out. That ship has long sailed about them complaining about anything. They already made their deal with the devil, so to speak, and it's all about the money. And how long do you think it will be before there's an 18 or 20 game schedule? We looking within the next 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's 5 to 10 years. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but you keep hearing the commissioner talk about it at Super Bowls and at league meetings. When he has a chance to get that idea out there, he does. So what the NFLPA will do, they'll use that as a bargaining chip. They'll say, okay, instead of 3 preseason games, we're going to do 1 preseason game, and we'll expect to collect more money off the back end of that. And there'll be all kinds of negotiations there, but it's probably inevitable. The PA will put up a little bit of a fight against it, but once the NFL shows them the money on the back end of it and how their salaries are going to increase, that'll convince them to accept it. It's not ideal. I already think there's too many games, but they went from 16 to 17. 18 is going to happen here pretty quickly.
Yeah, people forget the NFL is show business and all about the money. Hey, Ray, let me throw a few things out for you and get your take on it. When I look at the Steelers and I do an evaluation, the strengths to me, the offensive line and a run game, love the running backs, love the couple rookie offensive linemen they got, especially Zach Frazier. The defensive line and linebackers are a strength, even though the defensive line, my concern is depth. The weaknesses to me, that's secondary. They should have had another corner and another slot defensive back. And this is my take. Their receiving core, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. If you look at cornerback, the situation there, I think they're going to wait to see how Cam Sutton's legal situation pans out. So if they can get that done, that really does strengthen their secondary, because Cam Sutton can come back. He can play in the slot. He also has the capability to play outside. So that would solve 2 problems for you. There's your slot corner, and there's also some depth on the outside that you would create there. Maybe the bigger issue is receiver. Other than George Pickens, if you look at it, Ed, you got a bunch of 3 and 4 and number 5 receivers on that team: Quez Watkins, Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, guys of that ilk. So they very well might need to make a trade here before the season starts to acquire a number 2. But I think they're going to wait on that. I think they're going to see how Roman Wilson does in OTAs and minicamp. And, they start this week, and there'll be 4 straight weeks of that. And then we even take a look at him early in training camp. If he's ready to maybe assume a number 2 role, hey, then maybe you don't have to make a deal. But if he's not, I don't think the Quez Watkins and the Calvin Austins of the world are cut out to be a number 2 receiver opposite George Pickens.
Let's look at the Cam Hayward situation. I don't think he's a flying ointment. I think he's a wild bull in your living room. At $16 million a year, he wants a contract extension. He's 35. He had an injury-plagued season last year. Is this holding them up in signing a top-notch wide receiver?
I don't think so, because Cam is signed, and if they want to play it out where this is his final season in Pittsburgh, they have positioned themselves to absorb that $16 million salary and that $22 million cap hit. So, they can create other ways to go out and get a number 2 receiver. They could restructure other contracts. They could also redo the contract of a guy like Brandon Ayuk or Debo Samuel once they are acquired. So I don't think that's the big holdup. It could get sticky in training camp. It's not a big deal now. OTAs are voluntary. Minicamp is mandatory, but we've seen guys excused from that in the past if there's a contractual situation. So the thing to watch here is, does Cam Hayward report to camp? Does he practice? If he doesn't practice, that's going to ratchet up the pressure on the Steelers front office a little bit. But if I'm Omar Khan and Art Rooney, 35-year-old coming off offseason surgery, like you said, I kind of want to see how that guy performs during the season before I give him any new money.
Ray, thanks a lot for joining us. Let's pick you up again, get through training camp, see how all this turns out, and get ready for the season.
Look forward to it, Ed.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Ellen George.
Got a water leak? Got a clogged drain? Got a remodeling project going? Call the pros at Armstrong Comfort. We can stop that leak, unclog that drain, and install your new fixtures. There is no plumbing problem we can't fix. Our technicians have the latest training and state-of-the-art tools to complete your job correctly the first time. Call Armstrong Comfort for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, or request an appointment online at armstrongcomfort.com.
I'm back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, everything is coming to an end of the seasons. Baseball will have a couple more weeks to go. High school track at Slippery Rock University, WPIAL Class 3A boys, Butler's Drew Griffith. He won the 3200 with a district record time of 8:41.6. Pretty good, huh, Albert?
Unbelievable.
And he won the 1600 4.03.22, and he anchored the winning 3200 relay team that consisted of Drew Knight, Zach Sleer, and Owen Dressler. So 3 gold medals for him again. He needs a treasure chest to keep them all in. And this kid's having a fantastic career for Butler, season, I should say. Orion McBride Cager, he won the high jump 6.5. Aiden Davis of Butler won the triple jump 44.8. Dale Hall of Hampton, he won the 800 152.72. Pretty good.
Always. When you're winning this time of year, everything's good.
And 2A boys, Colton Kreiser of Elwood City, he won the 800 159.70. Michael Braun of Freeport was second in the 3200. Boys District 9 title, Ashton Grossman of Montauk won the pole vault 13 feet 6 inches. Hayden Smith, Union AC Valley, he won the high jump 6.5, his 4th straight district title. His personal best is 7 feet. He's a 2-time PIAA champ.
Yeah, pull out your best down there, and you're going to be state champ again.
And that's 7 feet. That's the best any classification.
Just hope it's not bad weather and they have it in. You don't want it inside.
Right. 2A boys, District 10. What a career this kid had. Is Levi Prematine a junior?
No, I think he's done.
Is he? Okay, well, he won the 110 hurdles, the 300 hurdles, second in the long jump, and a member of the winning 1600 relay team. What a fantastic year he's had. And WPIAL 3A girls track at Slippery Rock University, North Catholic girls won the 4x100 relay. Sunny Love, Daphne Flurl, Anna Lazara, and Siva Cresta. North Allegheny girls won the 1600 relay. Laura Bowden of Butler, she was first in the 300 hurdles. Aubrey Rock of Butler first in the pole vault, 12 feet. 2A girls, Mackenzie Magnus of Freeport, she was first in the pole vault, 11 feet 6 inches. And in softball, 3A playoffs, first round of Freeport 6, Southmoreland 3. Pitcher Sidney Selker 11 Ks, but in the second round, Mohawk defeated Freeport 2-1. Freeport finishes 11-7. In 4A, Hampton 11, Knock 2. Hampton, get this, freshman pitcher Marissa Snyder. She threw a 2-hitter and struck out 15. Brooke Merganovich was 4 for 4. Mackenzie Reese 4 RBI, and Caitlin Doobie had 3 hits. In the first round, Knock 8, Plum 3. McKenna Braley, she had 3 hits and 4 RBI.
And once you get a pitcher as a freshman, that means you have for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, very seldom does a sophomore pitcher hurt their arm.
Yeah.
Very, very seldom.
You're talking about someone who's 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in 5A, Gabby Rapport of Mars had 4 hits. Stephanie Eswine of Mars, 3 hits and a 9-8 playoff loss to North Hills. Lyric Reed of Carn City, she had 3 hits and 8-2 win over Union AC Valley. And in boys lacrosse 2A, WPIAL, Mars 25, Seton LaSalle 1. Ian Coulter, 6 goals and an assist. Enzo Greco, the Penn State recruit, had 4 goals.
Do that
and
score
3
again.
assists. 25-1 over Seton LaSalle. It's a playoff. I mean, they this is why Mars boys, they average 20, almost 20 goals a game. Somewhere in the neighborhood.
Somebody who draws Mars in the first round, they think,
No.
oh, my.
Why?
Why are we going to play this?
What's that coach's pep talk before
Yes.
before the
Save
game?
the bus fare and go to get something to eat or something like that.
Boys volleyball semifinals. It'll be Shaler 14-1 versus Seneca Valley 14-6, and Butler 11-6 versus North Allegheny 12-1. Let's go to our stories of the week. Major League Baseball, the Pirates take 2 or 3 from the Cubs. Timely hitting, starting pitching was strong. The bullpen came through finally. Could have been a sweep, but for the controversial call on Sunday and the 1-0 loss to Cubs on a play at the plate on a throw a little bit up the line by center fielder Taylor to catcher Joey Bart, but it seemed to have Bellinger tagged out. But then when, according to Bart, he wanted to show the ball, it rolled out of his hand, rolled safe.
Yeah, George called me immediately.
He's out twice.
And said he thought he was out twice.
Smack the ball.
The umpires have to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting worse all the time. I don't know if it's because of the cameras. I don't know if it's because of the social media.
Good point, Albert.
But they're constantly making mistakes.
Well, I'll tell you what you did. I'm going to tell you.
Don't show the ball.
Yeah, first of all, obviously, and the ball beat him. And the other thing is, too, with those guys, like, you get in a situation, they're replaying it. I didn't see how far up the line the throw was, so I watched it over and over.
It wasn't a lot up, but
it was out of the batter's
It
box.
was up. Yeah, it was out of the
I
base.
mean, that kid made a nice play getting back
He
there.
made a nice play getting back. When he rolled over, went to show the ball, and it rolled
I
out
don't
of
know
his
why.
hand.
And he did slap it, by the way. I seen A-Rod called out for that.
Mhm.
Well, since the start of the season when they went 6-0, this was their best baseball that weekend against the Cubs. Could have been a 4-game sweep.
Well, their pitching so outstanding right now.
Yes.
Yeah, jeez.
We'll see if they can hit it all. I mean, they haven't hit. It's a 0 hitting team, but
And Keene's second start, he was just terrific. It was.
pass.
I don't want to overhype. It was Nolan Ryan, like 6 innings, no hits, no runs, 11 Ks, 100 pitches. His first major league win ended up being 9-3. Then Bailey Falter followed up with that 1-0 loss.
That was a Saturday.
Strong effort from him, 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs. Mitch Keller then, he's 5-3, 3-2 win over Jamison Tyon.
pitching great.
And he's pitching great. 3 straight games where he's gone into the beyond 5 innings, which we expect. We don't want to make more about it than what
We're
it
excited
is.
when they go
And
past 5.
Yeah. Now, what I asked about the Cubs, tell me, Tyon, 4 2/3 innings. So it's the 5th inning. He strikes out O'Neill Cruz, 2 outs. They take him out of the game.
That's today's baseball.
Well, I don't understand that.
You'll never understand that.
What?
But see, you're saying 2 different things there. One, we're saying, while we're excited if they go past 6, then secondly, we're saying, well, they're not allowed to go past 6. So that day there, that kid it was a no-hitter, and really, I think he struck the kid out, he walked.
Right.
Would they have left him? Al says no. I
Not a
agree.
chance.
I don't think so, but
That's every team, Eddie. We could talk about this on the
But-
show.
right.
Every
But
team.
I'd like
it's
to ask the
changed
Cubs
so
manager.
desperately.
He strikes out the Pirates' best power hitter. They bring in 2 relievers. They walk the guys, give up
Yeah,
a hit, and they lose.
You better
I-
have a bullpen. And Al mentioned a good point there with these guys. It's like Cruz, he is their slugger, but man, he likes to strike out a lot.
He's going to strike out 250 times this
I
year.
They all
know.
strike out.
I
The
know.
big thing is about the Pirates right now, Eddie.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to go past this. I don't have any hope in Bednar. I don't have any. Every time
I'm not sure. He's struggling.
He was
Yeah.
so good.
Right,
And,
dominant.
you got to have that. You got to have that to win. That games you need to win.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking years ago, you'd come out and take a picture like Ty on out, and you're going to have a fight.
No, you wouldn't.
But now these guys,
not
he's
a
making
chance.
$15 million. He goes, "You want to take me out? Take me out. Where's my paycheck?"
That's the first meeting they have.
But see, that's the thing we're not getting past. Does he want to come out?
Yeah, I
don't think any of them want to come out.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think he wants to
either.
come out. But
that's changed completely.
I'm saying that the point. You want to pay me this much money for 5 innings?
I'll
4
stay.
innings?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
then go ahead. Add
Another year to my career. What
Right.
they're making.
now. You know this pitching staff right now potentially. I'm gonna use that word potentially. Jones, Keller, Falter, and Skeens.
Gee.
The best part rotation in quite some time, and could be potentially the best in the major leagues. But here's 2 things I'm going to bring up. 1, will the Pirates keep them together? And then 2, will the Pirates finally, as you say about the hit, spend money on getting some hitters? They need a first baseman, they need a catcher, and they need another outfielder. So this process that you referred to, it's been 9 years rebuilding. It didn't take that long to rebuild Europe after World War II. When is this thing going to? You say 2025.
It's already in place. You can see it's in place.
But where are the hitters coming from? What are they going to do?
I don't know. I have no idea. But let's start with the pitching staff. Let's start there.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's not good. It's fantastic.
Right.
And
You confident they're going to keep them together?
they
I'm
have
not.
They have them for 5 years.
They have for 5 years.
No, 5 years. They have all of them.
Well, they
So
can't
right.
expect more now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you're going to go out and get a slugging first baseman. When I hear Shelton say he's waiting for Tellez to break out of the slump, here's what he's hit the last 3 years: 222, 219. He's hitting 181. Why is he playing? Why is Sawinski 172? What's he doing out there?
Once again, Eddie,
Yeah.
I'll say it to you again because we're all dinosaurs. They don't look one iota at the batting average. If Tellez hits home runs,
No.
then they'll keep him. But he's not hitting home runs. That's the killer. If he was hitting 191 with 12 home runs,
They don't use batting average.
not at all.
No.
Their batting average is not a. I'm talking about not Pittsburgh. I'm talking about all 30 teams.
I know, but I'm focusing on the Pirates, and I don't have any confidence that they'll go out and get a slugging
You
first
spend
baseman.
money, you're saying.
Who hits maybe?
Well, I don't think so
who hits
either.
250? Okay, so when's this process going to be over that they're going to win a division? or
Next
be
year
a
they're going
contender?
to win with their pitching staff next year.
No,
Easily.
no,
Easily.
no.
All right, we'll be talking
I'm
about
getting
next
that
year.
Easter Bunny suit up. I'm going to put that Easter Bunny suit
I told you
on.
in 2013
No
I was right, and I'll be right in
I
2025.
commend you on
So
your
they've been
enthusiasm.
12
but,
years? Come on
yeah.
now.
This process goes on forever.
That was
and
not a
ever.
process. I never
9
said.
years.
I never once said during those years they were going to win.
No.
Not once.
But
I
I-
said 2025.
Let me
I did
ask
not
you,
say 2017.
why is it taking them 9 years?
What? Because they don't
9
spend
years
money.
to rebuild.
Because they don't spend
Oh,
money.
thank you.
You got
Thank
the
you.
answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, this date, Major League Baseball history, May 19th, 1956. The Pirates, Dal Long homered against the Chicago Cubs. It was the first for Long of 8 straight games with a home run. What a feat by Dal
He
Long.
did that today. They'd be excited. Well,
Th-
as Evers is doing right now for Clinton.
Davis has 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, stop the press. Stop all the sports. The NFL schedule's out.
I know.
And everything, all eyes on the NFL schedule. Forget about everything else. Now, the Steelers, 5 primetime games. The NFL's 3rd toughest schedule behind the Ravens and the Browns. Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift. It's Broadway NFL style. And people say, oh, the Steelers schedule's so tough. Listen, what Michael Corleone saying, The Godfather, it's not personal.
No,
it's strictly
it's-
business.
no, it ain't. And you don't know if it's
It's
tough.
business.
What they were last year, that's so stupid. It's the dumbest. They waste hours talking about it. You don't know right now even who the quarterback is for Pittsburgh. So how do you know how tough it's going to be to play them?
And last year, as everyone forget, as I talked to Ray Fittipaldo, they're the only team in NFL history that lost back-to-back games to 2-10 teams. So when you say what's an easy NFL schedule, I want to know.
There isn't.
And you notice by mentioning the 3 toughest, you mentioned the same division because they draw across. So obviously, if Pittsburgh's schedule's tough, so's the Ravens, so's the Bengals.
And everyone seems to think, oh, those first 3 games at Atlanta, at
Oh,
Denver,
not
Chargers.
that.
No,
No.
They could be 0-3. They could be 3-0 or 0-3.
You're exact.
That's
Both of
everybody
you.
in the NFL.
Both of you are right.
That's why you don't look at the schedule.
I love the schedule. When people say, "Oh, this isn't fair," primetime fight. It's a compliment to me. That the
And we
Steelers are
need
on.
to tell our viewers, important, especially the over 65 people. You will get the Steeler game locally. You will
Right.
get it on Armstrong.
Right.
However, the other game, the Ravens in Houston, you will not unless you have Netflix. Netflix has 20 times the viewership of Peacock, so most people, I would say, do have it.
I love the last 8
Al's
weeks
got it.
that they have the 6 division games in there.
Yeah.
I just love
You gotta
that.
play to the
That's a
end.
major. The NFL made that change on purpose.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
said they were going to put
Yep.
later games,
Yes.
division games.
When you say on purpose, let me ask: are they in show business? The NFL?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
big time.
And
show
one more
business.
thing, though, they've actually outsmarted themselves because the kid at Baltimore has played 10 times against Pittsburgh, but he's only actually been there 5 because he's either hurt or the division's wrapped up.
But that's the reason why you can't say who's
Yeah.
going to if the schedule's
right.
tough.
Exactly.
Right.
4 quarterbacks, you go down first week, and all of a sudden their team's not any good.
Well, how about the Houston game last year if you looked at it coming in?
Yeah,
Well, they didn't know how good Stroud was going to be.
Right.
Oh.
And then the grueling 3 games, 11-day stretch. The Eagles on December
Yeah, that's
15th at Philly, at Baltimore the next Saturday, the 21st, and then Christmas Day against the Chiefs. But I know once again someone said, "Well, the players," I should stop. Forget about the Players Association. That ship has passed. They sold their soul to the devil a long
Anytime
time
they
ago.
can get money, they
Money, they
decide
did
on. They're
anything.
going 18 games is next.
And like Ray said, within the next 5 years or so, you're going to have at least 18 games, maybe 20.
No doubt.
It's just coming there. Now, here's what I'm going to say about when I look at the Steelers and evaluation coming into the season when the camp hasn't started. The offensive line and running game, I think, is going to be strong. The defensive line and linebackers, even though the defensive line lacks in depth, is strong. Secondary, need another corner, need another slot defensive back. And the receivers, the worst in the NFL as a group. The worst.
Well, we will find out. That's for sure. I never want to judge this early. I want to see.
Well, I'm going by the stat. They
I-
signed 4 receivers at a total of 57 catches last year. Who's the number 2 receiver?
We'll find out quickly. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's a weak point. NFL.com rate the receiving core as the weakest, and then not a fly in the ointment, but the wild bull in the living room is Cam Hayward, who's not going to go to OTAs. Okay. But then he's most likely to be a holdout in camp, report but not play. He wants a contract extension of 2 or 3 years at the same amount of money. What are they going to do?
I wouldn't give it to him.
They're not good.
I know,
And
but
he's
what
my
do you
favorite
think
guy.
they're going to do?
He's my favorite
I
guy,
understand.
but I would not give it
He's
to him.
35 years
You know
old.
who else they said the big problem down there is keeping Najee away from the microphones when he's mad? Because they said they last year deliberately kept him away because he'll say what he thinks.
Yeah, there could be some issues there, but I don't know what you. In a way, they don't have depth on that defensive line. They hope that rookie out of Iowa is going to come through, Lee. But to give him a contract extension at
I couldn't do it.
35,
No, I was right.
I couldn't do it.
but are they going to say, "Look, Cam, you come in, play this year, but that's it"?
That's what they should say.
He's going to have like Franco playing somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
Be interesting to see what happens. We're not far away. The camp will be starting here pretty soon. That's it for us. We're out of time. We'll see you next week.
Zoom from Armstrong presents Home Pass Heroes. Jim wants to know where his kids are at all times.
What can I say? I'm a protective dad.
The Home Pass app, free with Zoom's enhanced Wi-Fi, lets him set primary devices for everybody in the household or frequent guests. Now he gets an alert when his kids leave or his mother-in-law arrives. Be the hero of your network with Zoom's enhanced Wi-Fi and the free Home Pass app. Available on the App Store and Google Play.